Hey everybody, I got a little cough in there before I even started the damn thing. Good morning everybody. It's the Morning Night Live, and so I've been watching a lot of people argue about when and how we should be progressing towards opening up the country. Opening back up, so to speak. And there's this narrative that seems to be running among a lot of the major news anchors that, of the CNN variety for the most part, that seem to be on this kick where we just need to stay closed indefinitely. And at the same time, there's a large number of people in the country who are just restless. People want to get out. They want to be able to feed themselves. They want to be able to feed their families. And it's just, it's interesting. It brings up an interesting question. That is the name of the stream today. And that question is, what is the goal? I'll let you ponder that thought just for a moment while I play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. And stop the music and start this music. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Cinco de Mayo. Now, the problem with it being Cinco de Mayo, which it's not a problem because, it's not a huge holiday in Mexico, to be honest with you. Honestly, Cinco de Mayo became a huge holiday because the company that makes Jose Cuervo decided to make it was it Jose Cuervo or one of the beers? I can't remember which one. Decided to make it a big holiday in the United States. And yes, everyone drinks tequila and drinks beer. And on Cinco de Mayo, and they're not really sure why. It's not really Independence Day in Mexico, even though some people still think that. But anyway, it's Cinco de Mayo on the Morning Night Live. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Marty, a.k.a. P. Dog Night, as I'm known on the internet. And I already said what day it is. The 5th of May, for those who don't know how to say Cinco de Mayo, or don't know what it means. And I'm so glad you all are here. People are rolling in, and I'm a little better off today. I got home just a little bit earlier, almost didn't make it. Apparently, when you work for a company like UPS, which I do, and we get a little busy whenever people get extra money in their hands, and apparently people are spending their little stimulus checks and their extra money if they're on unemployment, and they're buying shit. And holy God, did we have a lot of stuff coming through the hub today? Holy smokes! But anyway, so but I made it on time, and honestly, if there's no bars to go to unless, although, now wait a minute, I shouldn't say there's no bars to go to. My buddy lives in Texas, and they've opened up some restaurants and bars, and so he sent all the rest of us. We have this guy I went to college with. We have a bunch of us on one long text message that we've been doing for about 3 years, and he sent a picture of himself and his son sitting at a bar having a beer, and I'm like, oh, you suck. God, that would be awesome to do right now. But anyway, yeah, James, I look at it. Your question is dependent on which side you're on. It seems the Dems want to keep the power of their respective states and grind its heels in. This way, they can blame the president in November. I think that's what you meant there. Yeah, that we're gonna get into that a little bit, because the first article I read this morning was actually the introduction to an article, and I'll read it word for word. It's pretty funny. But anyway, before I get started, let's say good morning to the people that are here. Oh, I don't even know if this is gonna work. That bell is for Jaeger Pony, who was here first. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning to Richo, Green Badger Outdoors, Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, Gunfox61, Chi-Town J, James Colley, Mike Savage, Sheograth, Grillin' Pirate Pete. I'll pause, and then I'll say also good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. Good morning, Jonas Pedersen, D.I. Freighter, the Bosch Tube, the Reverend Tex Watson. Good morning. And let's see. Did I miss anybody that's already here? I think I got Tyler F. Good morning. Who am I missing? Mike Savage. Hello. Maniac Man, Fred Fernstrom, Keenan, and anyone else who's rolling in or anyone else who's lurking. If you're lurking, hey, don't take your eyes off the road. I know a lot of you lurk and drive at the same time, or you're at work. Hey, whatever you do, just hope you enjoy being here, and I enjoy having you here. Good morning, Duck Dog, also. Get that thumbs down. Okay. So, apparently in Oregon, the governor of Oregon is, these governors, now I get it. They want to be protective of their constituents, and some are more concerned about maybe getting open and getting their constituents way too. Did I miss Sheograth? No, I didn't miss Sheograth, did I? No. Okay. Oh, missing Sheograth, Peter Knight. No, I thought I said Sheograth. Well, hi Sheograth. I wouldn't miss you there on purpose. So, anyway, here's I'm gonna read this one. This is my favorite news aggregator in the morning is the Ace of Spades blog. My friend JJ Sefton puts this out every morning, Monday through Friday. And let me just I'm just going to read you the intro to his list of articles that I usually pull a lot of my stuff from. It says, "Good morning, kids. Tuesday and another grim milestone of yet another day of America held hostage. If anyone had any doubts that what we are now witnessing is an intentional political move by the Democratic media complex to destroy the president by keeping the citizenry under national house arrest, then the latest move by Oregon's Democratic dictator, Kate Brownshirt, proves the point." He has a way with words. Hello, Lindsay. How you doing? Avoiding any mention of the procedures her state plans to implement to reopen its economy during a Friday press conference that was supposed to do just that. Good morning, this is Kyle. Thank you for the first super chat of the day, saying hello, chat people, and P-Dog. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kyle, and good morning. Welcome. Those links are in the chat and in the description down below, or you can just go to pdognight.live if you want to do super chats. Someday I'll have YouTube super chats too, but that day isn't here yet. So let's see. Avoiding any mention of the procedures her state plans to implement to reopen the economy during a Friday press conference that was supposed to do just that, she took the opportunity to declare the state of emergency will remain in effect until July 6th. July 6th. That's just 2 days after the 244th anniversary of the founding of the nation. And in case anyone reading this was weaned on Pulitzer Prize winning 1619 Project. The reaction by Oregonians was swift. The next day, over 2,000 of them descended on the Capitol in Salem to protest Brownshirt's, her name's Brown, by the way, arbitrary decision. As I alluded to yesterday, I can't imagine anyone but the most brain dead of true believers supporting this because one or maybe two-time check, a one or two-time check from Uncle Sugar is not going to alleviate you losing your livelihoods and life savings and keep you happy with the people you put in office. The longer this drags on, meaning the closer this gets to election day, with probably only blue states still held captive, the worse it's going to get. The question is, will this redound more on the president or on the Democratic media complex? Again, at the risk of being repetitive, which is almost unavoidable given the inertia of the past 8 weeks, it all depends on the situation going forward in red state real America as things begin getting back to normal. On the flip side, Rasmussen just released the results of a new survey that shows the overwhelming percentage of conservatives want America to get back to work, while an equally large number of liberals want just the opposite. But again, that's a snapshot of everyone and everything more or less equally miserable. Once things get rolling again in the rest of the nation, please God, very soon, that calculus might very well change. Demagogues like Brown, Cuomo, Newsom, Whitmer, Pritzker, and the rest are not going to stop this, no matter the growing medical evidence and other realities about the hyped lethality of the Chinese lung aids has come to light. He used very descriptive names for this, by the way. This is about preventing Trump being reelected, either by attempting to destroy his polling numbers, which is not happening, or pushing for a vote by mail, which all but guarantees Democrats steal the election. In doing so, they will presumably go from horrifying victory to victory by wiping out free market capitalism, instituting the top-down socialist rejiggering of American society, and seizing absolute power for once and for all. And this from the American Greatness. I'm not sure who the article is. I'll figure it out in a minute. For Democrats, this is what has come to. A last attempt to drive down support for Trump by doing everything they can to heighten public fear of the coronavirus and extend for as long as possible the resulting economic disruption. As demands to open business increase in states around the country, Democrats' target date for getting America back to work is 18 months from now, by which time they hope Trump's plan to restart the economy will have backfired and they'll be running what's left of the country, Green New Deal style. China would like nothing better. In October 2018, Chinese President Xi Jinping declared a 30-year war on the United States. When the war is over in 2049, the 100th anniversary of the Communist Party rule, China expects to be victorious economically, politically, and if necessarily, militarily. This is something about which few Americans are aware, and most of who don't take it seriously. Donald Trump does, and Beijing knows it. After failing repeatedly, Democrats and their allies think they finally have the perfect 1-2 combination. Spike Chinese bat flu along with the sci-fi panic attack for getting rid of Trump. And capitalism once and for all. The Democratic Party, the media, and the newly aggressive China have morphed into a single opposition. That's the other thing. Well, I'll tell you that in a minute. The Democratic Party, and the one person capable of rallying the nation to fight back and win is Donald Trump.
China is asshole.
At this point, the only thing that can save the Chinese Communist Party from a reckoning long overdue is a Democrat in the White House. Because of coronavirus, the 2020 campaign will be a debate about political systems, economics, and national security, issues that play to the strength that helped Trump win in 2016. And as president, he can use campaign events, as Reagan did, to spell out the options in language every voter understands. Will the United States be held hostage and eventually dominated by China and its Democratic Party collaborators? Or will it stay the course, as Reagan put it? If the Democrats take over, the answer is obvious. Welcome to the United Socialist States of America, a wholly owned subsidiary of Communist China. So that's one way to look at things. But really, I guess, when I see that the governor of Oregon decides to do this until July 6th, that's when I ask the question, what is the goal here? Thank you, James Colley, by the way, for the super chat, who says, all I can say is, it's good to be a Texan. I'll drink one for you all that can't bar yet. Not my fault, y'all. Gov sees you as kids. LOL. Yeah, James, my buddy, just down in. He lives in. God, where does he live? Just outside of Dallas. One of those suburbs. I can't remember which one. But yeah, he sent me that picture, and I'm like, damn, I want to be in a bar right now. Even though I'm not really big on bars. Although there's one bar we go. My wife, Lady Boomer, and I like to go out for brunch at the tavern just down the way where they have make your own Bloody Marys, and I just, I want to go make myself a Bloody Mary. Anyway, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. So, and then oh my gosh, by the way, a quick thank you to Six and RVA and Tyler F for tweeting out the show. Make sure you do that. If you haven't done so already. In fact, why don't I do that little shill thing right now? If you'd be so kind. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, by the way, good morning, Six. Please, and good morning, Midnight in Exile also. I see you popped in. Please, share the show. The little share arrow down there, or right down there, follow me on Twitter, mine's Gabs, at PDogKnight. And when I tweet that out, just hit retweet. Don't hit not the like. I don't care if you like it, but I do care if you retweet it. Although I do care if you like it, but you like it, but retweet it. Because retweeting is better than likes. I don't know. So maybe. I don't know. Or you can just share it, hit the share arrow, and share it on Facebook and whatever other social media you use. Or, just, tell somebody else. Good morning, Maddie. And then also, please, if you like what we do, hit the like button. And Super Chats can be done in the Streamlabs link. It says there, right in the chat, the Super Chat link. Right there, it says there's another one there. It says this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your Super Chats read live on the show. You'll be a permanent part of this episode, and I will be so happy. And if you can, you know what? Don't make that a priority in these tough times if you're having tough times. Anyway, and also thank you, Maddie, for tweeting out the show. So, Kate Brown's order in Oregon caused a little hubbub. People are not happy in Oregon. Join the fight. Protesters said on Salem to show Governor Kate Brown Oregon wants to reopen. On Saturday, May 2nd, thousands of protesters showed up at the Capitol to give voice to their growing frustration over Governor Kate Brown and her increasingly vague timeline for allowing businesses to resume in the state. Non-essential businesses have been shut down for almost 2 months, and schools are closed for the year to mitigate the spread of Wuhan coronavirus. Local media estimated hundreds of people in the crowd, but an accurate count probably approaches 2,000. Not bad, given that there was a driving rainstorm and not much promotion of the event compared to previous rallies. Protesters expressed their frustration with the state's stay-at-home orders, which created what they called arbitrary rules over which businesses were deemed essential and could stay open. Additionally, many read the state statutes to say that Brown has a maximum of 30 days for any emergency declaration, and that the legislature should convene to debate any extensions. Brown made the initial emergency declaration on March 8th. Protesters fear that this extended shutdown will lead to economic ruin for too many Oregonians and question whether Brown has the power to supersede U.S. and Oregon constitutions for such a long period. So they have some pictures of the protest here. The Constitution limiting tyrants since 1788. God-given rights do not require government permission. Do you hate kids, Governor Brown? You took everything fun away from them. Give me my freedom to be a kid. Give me my parks and playgrounds. We the people. Kate Brown, why are you getting a paycheck? Good. The 30-year war quote. Which one is that? Linked to the 30-year war. Oh, this. Where was the 30-year war quote? Oh, that's this one from American Greatness. Here you go. Here you go. There you go. Good morning, Donatello Slapfellow. All right. So anyway, yeah. Now, oh wow, a whole bunch. We want liberty. I miss my friends. So here's the thing, okay? And I, as I listen to people and watch people on the internet, mainly on Twitter. Did I bookmark any of these? I probably didn't, because so now here's the okay, that's World Press Freedom Day. I guess I didn't bookmark any of these tweets. There's an interesting trend among CNN anchors and pundits. And I noticed it with Chris Cuomo first, or at least Brian Stelter has been quoting a Chris Cuomo because he hasn't been saying shit himself. Let me see if I can find this real quick. New York Times scoop. U.S. quietly fears virus's daily toll will soon double. Trump's response: I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about it. Nobody told me that. I think it. Well, okay. So they've been piping up on this new study that leaked apparently by the CDC, and it could be true. I don't know if it's true or not. But the people who wrote the study said that it's not complete and shouldn't be taken as gospel. Okay. Here's this tweet from Brian Stelter. It quotes Chris Cuomo. No matter which model, let's be honest, there's a consensus. Reopening is going to cost us cases. It's going to cost us death. The real question for you is, are you okay with it? Are you okay with paying the cost? Now, it's interesting that when this all started, the big reason for changing our lifestyle, or for maybe shutting things down for a while. Anyone remember what that goal was? The original goal was to flatten the curve, not to eliminate the curve, because that seems like something you cannot do. The only way you eliminate the curve is you find ways to stop people from getting it or mitigate their symptoms, right? So we said, okay, we're going to flatten the curve so that hospitals are not overwhelmed, so that we can handle cases as we need to. Now, we know that every day in the United States, it seems like, holy shit, the number of cases just keeps growing and growing and growing. Well, a lot of that is because we are doing more testing, which is what people said. Oh, we need more testing. Okay. Yeah, we have a lot more testing. And the more testing we do, we're finding out that the death rate of this is not as high as we originally thought. I remember when Trump said, I think it's going to be less than, they said something like 3 to 6%, and Trump said, I would think it's going to be way less than that. Well, he was actually right on that. The testing showing that the death rate on this is much lower, but we did just pass 68,000 people dead from this. Okay, a vast majority people who have comorbidities, a vast majority people who are older or have other issues, and we mourn those people. It's not that we don't mourn those people, but this question, it's going to cost us cases, it's going to cost us death. The real question for you is, are you okay with it? Well, that's another question that concerns, what is the goal? Okay? What is the goal? Is the goal to shut everything in the country down until there are 0 deaths? Chris Cuomo or Brian Stelter, who's retweeting Chris Cuomo? is that what's the goal? Are we going to stop this virus by keeping everybody home? Obviously, we're not stopping it by doing that. And there's countries out there, or places, I should say, because one is in South Dakota, still pretty mild number of cases. Okay, they had the one little, blip in that meat factory, but even then, those are people dying. They just cases of the COVID. Okay, they still have the low death rate relative to other states. There's Sweden, whose death rate's a little bit higher than other countries, but they're also a lot more people. The more people get it who have the antibodies, means you have that herd immunity concept. But what is the goal? It's going to cost us cases. It's going to cost us death. Okay. What is the acceptable amount of cases and death? And what is the acceptable destruction of people's lives that also is probably going to cause death? People who are out of work, or in despair, people who can't feed themselves, people starving to death. We have this, the unemployment's gone up to what? 20%? I mean, at least that's what they're saying. All these claims of unemployment. Now, granted, I'm going to guess that a lot of people who decided to take that furlough, or layoff, or whatever you want to call it, because they can make more money being unemployed than being employed, that unemployment benefit's going to run out. I just don't. What is the goal? Okay, you're saying, are you willing to let your grandma? How many people in I saw someone say, how many people in your family are you willing to let die for the economy, for the Wall Street, which is a bullshit question anyway. Okay, it's like as though that's an either or proposition. Does opening the economy mean we're gonna go have a wrestling match with everyone that walks down the street? Or does reopening the economy mean you're going to let people live their lives and be aware that this is an issue, and maybe wear masks? Maybe, my wife and I spend a lot of time at Home Depot. Okay, the Home Depot right up the street here, because we've been planting our flower pots and shit like that. We're probably a little too early. We're just praying that we don't get one more freeze, but whatever. And doing some gardening and fixing things around the house. We have to paint, and stuff like that. So we're there all the time. And, it's interesting. That place, parking lot's always packed with cars. And they have a line where they're only letting X number of people in Home Depot at a time, and people are doing a really good job of the social distancing while walking around Home Depot, either wearing their mask, or when they wait in line, they wait 6 feet back. So, do you think we're just a bunch of fucking children that aren't going to be able to do that, or not? I watched, who was it? Someone, thank you, by the way. Dixon Poon. Thank you, Dixon. Thank you, Dixon Poon, with the $5.56 super chat. Here, I'm going to replay that one because that one always cracks me up. That's in honor of Cinco de Mayo, that would be the Twerkin Mamacita. Dixon Poon. That's an interesting name. Dixon Poon. Let's all quarantine until everything collapses. Start this shit show over again. Yeah, would we have to start the whole damn country over again? I was talking to a guy at work this morning, and he's, his hair is looking pretty raggedy, and he works a shift before mine, but I know him just from in passing, and he was saying that he was, he was laughing because he said he needs a haircut, and he was driving by the place where he gets his haircut, and there were U-Hauls there. They were taking everything out of the building. He's just the guy who cuts his hair has already decided to close up shop. He can't get through this, and he's already doing that, right? And so he has to find a new place to get his haircut. And then he said his doctor was retiring, decided to retire, so he has to get a new doctor. So, some of these people are just like, fuck it. We're not coming back even if we come back. How many people are going to be able to come back from this? The longer we wait. The Oregon governor, July 6th. That's 2 more fucking months. Are you kidding me? Is there do you not trust the people of Oregon to do what they do? Your hospitals are not overwhelmed. There's not a single hospital in the United States overwhelmed. Not even New York City right now. The state with the most cases, they closed up. They got rid of the ship to take overflow from injuries. They've gotten rid of they built the temporary hospital in one of those arenas. No one's in it. They're not using it because they don't need it. They all those extra ventilators they got, didn't need them, even though they have the most cases in the country. They didn't need the extra ventilators anymore. They had plenty. They've been giving them to other states who aren't needing them. And now they're finding out, it's probably not the best thing to do. That you want to try to avoid putting people on one of those ventilators. Right? Is that what I'm saying? Is that the right word for it? So what is the goal? You would think the goal is what the original goal was: flatten the curve. We know there's going to be some more people who get it. We try to find ways to keep them alive. Many more people are going to have it. Many people are going to have it that never have symptoms. Do we want people to do that? Apparently, there's another that study that they were trying to figure out whether or not you get it once and you have the antibodies. If you can get it again, they're figuring out that it works like any other virus. You're unlikely to get it again. The problem in South Korea, where they said people were getting it again, where people had who were having apparently a dormant version of this or whatever, but whatever. So the people who supposedly were getting it again weren't really getting it again. Is Sweden less likely to have a second wave of this than other countries that actually shut down and didn't allow people to get it? Didn't allow it to spread? Because, I don't know, man. It's all just a little bit insane to me. All right. And then we have okay, and even in these states where the lockdown lifted, here's a good article about this from the Daily Wire. Even in states, even with lockdowns lifted, Americans went out in trickles, not in droves. People are cautious. People are going to take care of themselves. See, here's a lady in a mask giving someone a haircut. Even though many states are now lifting lockdown restrictions, particularly those states where the coronavirus peak has already come and gone, Americans are leaving their homes in trickles, not droves, according to the Wall Street Journal, and absent a few notable exceptions, are largely abiding by social distancing and other virus-related restrictions without the threat of fines and jail time. Left-leaning critics of the president and his Republican allies have been pressing the idea that states are being forced to open up. They're not. They're just opening up so that individuals can get haircuts, go shopping, and go to the movies. But even in states like Georgia, where nearly all restrictions are now lifted, most people flocked to hotels, booking agents. Most people flocked to hotels, booking agencies, airports, train and bus terminals, and to healthcare facilities like dentists and nursing homes, per the Wall Street Journal. In Georgia last weekend, in Georgia last week unrivaled weekends earlier in March, not weekends earlier in 2020. Restaurants saw the most traffic, but even over 3 separate states, only 1 million or more people left their homes than the previous weeks. In the 3 states, about 1 million more people went to restaurants than the week before, and about 70,000 more people went to entertainment venues like movie theaters, bowling alleys, or sporting goods operations, the Wall Street Journal reported. Those that did go to salons found things significantly different than before the pandemic. At one nail salon in Georgia, women wore masks and the shop only let 3 customers in at a time. At one hair salon in Atlanta, customers signed waivers and had their temperatures taken. Despite concerns and, in some cases, rising case totals, states are slowly beginning to reopen, and even as experts predict, lifting lockdowns will cause an increase in confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Aside from Oregon and Virginia, which have both pledged to keep residents in their homes until the end of June, well, now July in Oregon, most states are now easing restrictions. Governors across the U.S. have reopened businesses with detailed plans to do so in a patchwork of orders that vary by speed and approach. Now, you get the idea here. But there's, you go on to Twitter and people are like, oh my God, this is going to cause cases after cases. And in fact, let me see if I can find this one. Let's see here, my friend here. Let's see. So, oh God, this, you know what? Let's see, where's this one he showed here? So here's something my friend SoFane put on Twitter the other day. Okay, Atlanta's largest mall, Lenox Square, is opening back up today. This is the line at the doors at 10 a.m. Okay, and he puts out this video. Let me put this on full screen here so you can see it. So, what do you notice about this line at the largest mall in Atlanta? Let's just take a look here. Oh, you probably want to see that, don't you? Here, let me put it so you can see it. I'll start it over here. Well, look at this. Now, watch. This is the line that he put this up because he's very critical about the idea of opening up. And so, but what do you notice about this line? Watch as this goes by. This is the line at the mall. This long line at the mall. Notice anything about this line at the mall? Fascinating that people are doing what in this line to the mall? Seems like they're social distancing, doesn't it? Is it just me, or does it seem like? And it's funny. And then, okay, and because he's critical of, everyone's critical of the United States because we have so many cases. And I still say there is something to do with weather patterns. Mexico sadly experiencing very big coronavirus problems, and now California, get this, doesn't want people coming over the southern border. A classic. They are so lucky that I am president. Border is very tight and the wall is rapidly being built. To which he replies, the entire country of Mexico has less coronavirus cases than the state of Georgia. The 100,000 people that like this in the first hour after it was posted need to examine your motives. The man is lying to your faces, but you're excusing it because you are fucking xenophobes. Maybe not. But the entire country of Mexico has less. Yeah, they do have less cases than California. It's also in a climate zone where you're not seeing as many cases around the world. But the bigger one was this. These people in this line for this mall voluntarily, as the state opens, they're already practicing social distancing. Saw all kinds of people wearing masks. Oh, Avocados Diablo says, hold on. Saw a black man in a mask. Why was nobody shooting him? Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Amazing. It's amazing. I still got to get that Jesse Lee Peterson amazing. But anyway, ooh, what the hell was that? Oh, hang on a second here. And then, okay, never mind. I was saying some other stuff he put on here, and I'm like, come on, dude. You just want to be mad. So let me get back into this. Also, Mario Cuomo, who's on my cover today. Mario Cuomo plays on fears and ignorance about reopening the economy. Why? Okay, this is from the Issues and Insights editorial board. Why are we still trying to flatten the curve? This is a good question. Again, this goes to what is the goal? Hello, Sir Quack. How you doing? Why are we still trying to flatten the curve? Now that roughly half the states in the country are starting to reopen their economies, expect a rash of stories about how they opened too soon and that COVID-19 cases are climbing as a result. Now, one thing about that, we're also we're doubling our testing for the most part. I mean, it's getting to a point where we're going to be seeing 1 million tests a day. And in fact, if you look at the, look at the old corona thing here. I'll refresh this. So we are just over 7.5 million tests in the United States. And in fact, our test per billion population has climbed significantly. But anyway, where'd that article go? There it is. A headline on Friday, for example, was about how Georgia reported more than 1,000 new cases of the virus the same day its governor lifted the stay-at-home order. Yeah, the cases for that you're probably not going to see for 2 weeks. But hey, let's just make a sensational headline. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo warned Saturday about blindly lifting lockdowns and reopening the economy. Now, it's going to be very different for him because his state has the most cases, and also New York City has as many cases as several other states combined. But anyway, he says, use information to determine action, not emotions, not politics, not what people think or feel, he said. It's Cuomo himself who is playing politics, acting on emotions, and ignoring information. The fact is that the lockdowns weren't about stopping the spread of the disease. Their justification was to flatten the curve. That is, slow the spread so our healthcare system wasn't overwhelmed. Cuomo should know that even in his home state, there's little evidence that the healthcare system was even close to being engulfed. Remember, the impetus for the lockdowns was based on dire forecasts that COVID-19 would kill more than 1 million people, even with draconian measures in place, and that death rate was on the order of 30 times greater than the flu. Now that we're getting antibody test results, which is showing magnitudes more have been infected than showed symptoms, the death rate is more like 0.3%. Yes, that's worse than the flu and enough to cause temporary local shortages of health care, but not anywhere near enough to cause a nationwide breakdown of the system. In fact, NPR reported on April 7th that out of 2,000 beds set up in temporary hospitals in New York, only about 100 were used. April 7th was the very day that daily deaths in the state peaked. Outside New York, which accounts for more than 1/3 of all deaths nationwide, the cases have been comparatively few and far between. As a matter of fact, there was a huge decline in hospital use nationwide just as the virus was peaking. Inpatient admissions were down 30% from January. Emergency room visits dropped 40%. Observation services fell 47%. Outpatient ancillary services declined 62%, and outpatient surgery volume plunged 71%, according to a report from Crow LLP. Now, a lot of those things too is because hospitals were not allowing people to come in for things that weren't as urgent, but probably need to be done. Like the one that really irked me. Hello, Willett Forge. The one that really, really pissed me off. In California, the story of a plastic surgeon who does reconstructive surgery after mastectomies. And they were allowing people to have the mastectomy, but not allowing the plastic surgeon to do the immediate reconstructive surgery because California was considering that an elective surgery, which not really. If you don't do it immediately, it's so much more complicated. Where the plastic surgeon comes in and does it immediately after a woman has a mastectomy. So that's the kind of decisions people are having to make during this when the hospitals aren't even full and the person's already on the table because they were having a mastectomy because of cancer. And so they considered. So the decision was, well, do you do other treatments that may or may not save the person's life? I mean, it's insane. Let's see. But and as far as all those admissions, the hospitals are empty. They're laying off people who do other surgeries because they said they're going to need space for all the COVID patients. And it didn't happen. And are some of these states allowing elective surgeries now? Yeah, they finally are. But remember, just because someone's a doctor doesn't mean they're rich and can live off of, they got med school bills. Anyway, here, let's see. So in California, Elon Musk tweeted out a chart late last week showing the early predictions about hospital use in the state and the actual data. Hospitals in California have been half empty this whole time, he said. The San Jose Mercury News reported that in absence of anticipated corona surge, Bay Area emergency room doctors and nurses say ongoing pandemic has transformed hospitals into deserts. In Minnesota, things are really good, said Minnesota Department of Health Assistant Commissioner Marie Doddseth last week. Every day that goes by, we learn a little bit more, and we're feeling confident we will see a surge, but we are well prepared capacity-wise with what we've planned so far. No, the hospitals in Minnesota are all the same, half empty. They're anticipating a surge that the peak has already been here, and then our governor has already said that they're going to stay shut down until, I think, May 16th here. Florida, the goal of reducing the curve was to keep the infections underneath that hospital capacity. That's the reason why we went on this and what we've done. And you can see, not only did we not reach hospital capacity, we're far under what hospital capacity is in the state of Florida, said Governor Ron DeSantis. Tennessee, at the end of last week, Chattanooga hospitals had 232 vacant hospital beds, including 51 intensive care unit beds and 357 ventilators not in use. In Connecticut, even on the worst day, the number of hospitalizations per county never came close to hospital capacity, NPR reported. In Philadelphia, officials are moving to shut down a COVID-19 surge hospital that had been set up at Temple University's Licarius Center, less than 10 days after it accepted its first patients. Well, surely this is good news because of the shutdowns, right? And doesn't reopening too soon risk overwhelming the healthcare system down the road? Not quite. In fact, nobody knows whether the lockdowns made a difference. Johan Giesecke, who's been described as one of the world's most senior epidemiologists, yeah, I said that right, and is the advisor to the Swedish government, argued early on that the lockdowns weren't evidence-based. American Enterprise Institute adjunct fellow Lyman Stone notes that the scientific and medical case for strict lockdowns is paper thin. He notes that COVID infections were already declining before Spain went into lockdown. The data shows the same thing in France and in Lombardy, Italy. The paper by Thomas Muir of the Woods Hole I can't say the word, Oceanographic Institution found that, quote, extrapolated the pre-lockdown growth rate trends, we provide estimates of the death toll in absence of any lockdown policies and show that these strategies might not have saved any life in Western Europe. We also show that neighboring countries applying less restrictive social distancing measures as opposed to police-enforced home containment experienced a very similar time evolution of the epidemic. Again, I still say it's hard to compare countries, but daily I've been putting out my comparison of the United States versus those 5 countries in Europe that have approximately the same population combined as the United States, and the number of cases, at least that have been confirmed, are about the same. But for some reason their death rate over there is almost double, which all 5 of those countries have some form of government-run healthcare. I don't want to make that comparison because you never know if there's going to be a surge in deaths in the United States, but it doesn't seem like that pattern would be holding if you compare it to every place else in the world that this is happening. Even if the lockdowns were effective, keeping them in place for fear of an even worse outbreak ahead makes no sense. First, there's the fact that millions have already been exposed to the virus and now have antibodies to it, which means a future outbreak isn't likely to be worse than the current one. Plus, in addition to having plenty of hospital capacity, the country is now far better prepared to handle an increase if one does occur. We have more tests, more ventilators, a greater ability to trace the disease, and more experience in treating victims than we had at the start of the outbreak. So, Edward A. Schneider, economics and management professor at Yale, and L.S. Dugdale, director of the Center for Clinical Medical Ethics at Columbia University, summed it up well in a piece in The Hill. Quote, although a flatter curve may reduce deaths in particularly overburdened health systems, the net number of lives lost may not substantially differ over the course of the disease. The extent of long-run adverse health consequences, however, will increase with the extent of damage to the economy from prolonged efforts to flatten the curves. In other words, the cure... Oh my gosh. That's why I have my coffee. I think I'm dying. In other words, the cure will end up being far worse than the disease. Those are the facts, Governor Cuomo. With the nation's healthcare system no longer at risk of being overburdened, strict lockdown meant to flatten the curve no longer makes sense. If they ever did, it's time for the country to unlock the doors and let people resume their lives. So, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. What's the goal? The goal was to flatten the curve. Was pretty much has been flattened. But there are plenty of people, if you go on the internet, who are just decrying the idea that we want to open things up. And so, speaking of the internet, it is that time. Yes, it's almost that time. We're very close to that time when we do Twitter trends. So I'm going to do them a little early because I want to make sure I get into the hashtag a little bit. And God and Fox, I haven't checked my email yet today. I saw you mention that earlier. So hopefully I will get to that too. Oh, did it? Okay, is this thing still working? Yes, we're still on. Okay, good. By the way, okay, there is music in the background. I wasn't sure. It didn't sound very loud compared to normal. And I just want to remind you that today's music is Latin themed because it is Cinco de Mayo, even though, Mexico's not really it's Latin America, sort of, right? So to speak. Flat like the pulse of politicians. Yes, Gamer Valine. Hi, how you doing there, dear? Good to have you here. Anyway, all right, let's check the old Twitter board today because I'm sure there's some fucketry on there today. On the header for the Explore tab, though, COVID-19 updates for the U.S. This page is... okay, yeah, everyone's loving the old grim milestone thing, too. It's funny. People who are talking about today, the United States had over 68,000 deaths as of today. And then they're like, that's more than in Korea, Vietnam, yada, yada, all these wars combined. And it's like, why would you compare them to something that is completely different? Okay. We've had flu seasons where we've lost 60, 70,000 people. We lost 100,000 people during the 68 to the flu. You can't compare a disease, a virus, to a war. A war is a chosen thing. A war is something, and in some cases, and not sometimes, you have to do that. World War II is probably a good example. We had to we kind of were forced to get involved eventually. But it's a war is a decision. A pandemic is not. And the only way to have maybe mitigated this particular pandemic had a certain country
China is asshole.
Here's the thing. As much as I'd like to believe that this is all about China, even I can't look. A lot of people are out here blaming our president for what's happening as far as this goes in the United States. Or this morning, I was Governor Cuomo from New York was tweeting something, and people were chirping at him, blaming him. And yes, some decisions may have, in hindsight, been the wrong decisions, like sending people back to nursing homes. They did, but you make decisions on what you know, and this type of thing. The things you've said in the past about it were based on things you knew at the time. The actions you took in the past about it are things you knew at the time. I can't sit here and go, this is Governor Cuomo's fault. This is President Trump's fault. This is, de Blasio. That's a hard one. But everyone made decisions based on what they knew. And we didn't know a lot, and we know a lot more now, and we know exactly what we should have done at every stage now that we've already seen every stage. But as I will say now, and I will say again sometime in the future, you always know which receiver's open on instant replay. It's easy to say it after the fact what you would have done. Even that thing where the president shut down travel from China, restricted travel and allowed Americans to come back. Now we know even that was too late because China shut down travel from Wuhan to other cities in China, but not the rest of the world. Now, China knows now that was a bad decision. It affects the entire world, and the whole world wants to tell them that
China is asshole.
I bet they wish they had that decision to take back. But they're too busy propagandizing this now. So, again, hindsight is perfect. You can be perfect. You can know exactly what you would have done at every stage by looking at the history of what happened here. Well, we would have shut down travel or not accepted travel from China to anywhere in the world if we had known, right? The United States would have shut down travel from China in early January, not late January, but that might have even been too late. And shut down travel from Europe in early January rather than middle February. But can you imagine the fallout? Can you imagine? Just imagine if Donald Trump said on January 1st, There's a new virus in China that they told us the World Health Organization about yesterday. Well, we're going to cut off all travel from China today on January 1st because we're not sure if this virus could be deadly or not for the United States. Just imagine the howling from the "you're a xenophobe, you're a racist" crowd. Could you imagine? So, I'm sure Nancy Pelosi wished she hadn't gone back to her hometown and taken that little trip through Chinatown, telling people to come on down. We're here, we're safe, and yada, yada, yada. Because she makes her look like an idiot now, but again, she did that based on what she knew at the time. She thought that was a nice little grandstanding thing she could do to, because the president was saying this virus from China, the Chinese virus, where the virus came from.
China is asshole.
But I'm sure that in hindsight, she wished she'd never done that because every time she talks about it, and someone's going to throw that in her face, which is fine with me. I don't care. I'm not a particular fan of Nancy Pelosi anyway. But, so anyone saying, 68,000 deaths, the president has blood on his hands. No, he doesn't. It's a virus. It's not, he didn't send any person into it on purpose. Just because we know what we know now doesn't mean he could have changed it from the past. So anyway, let's see. What do they got on the COVID update here? Secretary Alex Azar talked with Ed Henry and Sandra Smith on Fox this morning on American Newsroom about $22 billion President Trump is sending healthcare providers and hospitals who have been heavily impacted, by the COVID-19. Mayor Kate Gallego, apparently she's a Phoenix mayor. Spoke with some people on MSNBC for what next steps for Arizona look like and how Phoenix employees helped greatly expedite the opening of Honeywell Aero to create more masks. So good for them. U.S. Surgeon General says, including many of our very own, I don't know what USPHS are, proud of the work we're doing each and every day as part of the COVID-19 response. I'm sure. Okay, Secretary of Operations Center is the heart of HHS Gov information analysis. Dedicated men and women staff the SOC all the time during the COVID-19 response, collecting and sharing, analyzing data related to the coronavirus pandemic and other evolving public health threats. Okay, Governor Mike Parson from Missouri. Proud of our citizens, soldiers, and airmen who play a major role in supporting the state and community operations as we combat COVID-19. Some pretty generic stuff. Brian Kemp in Georgia. I'm honored to be down in Albany today at Phoebe Putney is, to thank the heroes and community leaders who have worked so hard to save lives here in Southwest Georgia. Just finished a tour of the 24-bed mobile hospital unit on site that will serve COVID-19 patients starting tomorrow morning. So, and Andrew Cuomo will be giving his daily briefing. So anyway, that's what's going on with the COVID people. Let's move on into Twitter trends. It is, ladies and gentlemen, number one on the on the Twitter trends today. Giving Tuesday now. What is that? Apparently something about Giving Tuesday, trending with next Giving Tuesday. Let's see what this is. Irish dig deep to support virus-hit Native Americans, repaying a debt to the Choctaw tribe who sent food to Ireland during the 1847 potato famine. Oh, interesting. This is a story I've never heard. Have any of you heard this story? Let's see. So, Irish dig deep to support virus-hit Native Americans, repaying a 150-year-old debt. Donations to Native American tribes. Start your free trial. No, I'll just read the first article, or first paragraph. Donations to Native American tribes who have been badly hit by the coronavirus crisis are flooding in from Ireland as they repay a debt dating back to the 19th century potato famine. At least 41 people have fallen victim to COVID-19 in the Navajo Nation, with a spike in cases partly attributed to a water crisis. An estimated 40% of the Navajo do not have running water at home, and a drought in Southwest has exacerbated difficulties. As the crisis intensified, the Navajo and Hopi families set up a GoFundMe campaign to raise cash to pay for bottled water. Already $1.3 million has been raised, with donations flooding in from Ireland. It dates back to a gesture made in March 1847 when the Choctaw tribe, which was gradually reestablishing itself in Oklahoma, having been ousted from its ancestral lands in Mississippi, heard news of the Irish potato famine across the Atlantic, and that's where I can no longer see any more of the article, but apparently they helped out Ireland 150 years ago, and so the people of Ireland are now helping them. That's a great story. I wish I could read the rest of it. Let's see here. Going back here. So something that has to do with Giving Tuesday now. The New York Attorney General James, New York, donating to charities and organizations in need is crucial during this crisis. If you are able to, I hope you'll take part in Giving Tuesday now. Use these tips from my office to help ensure your money is going where you want it to. Tips for charitable giving during the COVID-19 crisis. Check the organizations before giving, especially newly formed organizations. Ask how your donations will be used. Be careful when giving through social media or email solicitations. Exercise caution before you text a contribution. Do not give cash. Be careful about providing personal information. If you believe an organization is misrepresenting its work, or that a fundraising or charitable scam is taking place, please contact the Attorney General's office. So those actually are very good tips for giving. Always just be careful when you give to charities. You never know for sure, but there's some reputable charities out there. Okay, so apparently it's Giving Tuesday. That's why that's trending. Let's move on. Trending number 2, Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Jesse Kelly says. Let's see. Friendly reminder, since it's Cinco de Mayo, don't be that one idiot wearing a typical Mexican clothing because it's not cute and it's fucking disrespectful and offensive. Thank you. Hey, eat my shorts. There are, when you talk to Mexicans about that, they don't give a fuck. That's, now this happens to be a African American woman giving that advice. No, in fact, at our favorite Mexican restaurant, they hand out sombreros for people to wear when you come in the door. Cinco de Mayo is an annual celebration held on May 5th, the date observed to commemorate the Mexican Army's victory over the French Empire at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862, under the leadership of General Ignacio Zaragoza. Friendly reminder to gringos celebrating their beloved Happy Cinco de Mayo celebration. Okay, so here's the reminder. Cinco de Mayo is not Mexican Independence Day. It's not Mexico's July 4th. Independence Day is September 16th. Mexico does not celebrate it except in the Mexican state of Puebla, where the Battle of Puebla occurred in 1862. It is not an excuse to eat taco and drink tequila or dress up like a stereotypical Mexican in a poncho and sombrero. It is not a real holiday. Mexicans do not celebrate it. We are not a monolingual culture. Just because we are Hispanic doesn't mean we celebrate the same holidays. Okay, to each your own. Or not to eat your own, to each. To each. What am I trying to say there? To each his own? To each your own? Okay, don't eat your own. Let's see. Any other sage advice for Cinco de Mayo? Oh, here we go. Now this is going to tell us how to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Okay, here we go. Okay, and I remember this one from last year, but let's just watch it. Unless it has music. If it has music, I'm turning it off.
Sombrero and fake mustache for Cinco de Drinko. Make sure you and fake mustache for Cinco de Drinko.
Oh.
Make sure you know what you're actually celebrating. For one, it's not actually Mexico independence.
Okay,
That is
I think we
celebrated
just
on
went through
September
this. I'm not going
And
to
if
do
you
it.
wanna
I
party with us-
can't do it. Can't do it. Audrey Hepburn photographed by Earl Thiessen as a at a Mexican market, 1954, Cinco de Mayo. Every year in Mexico City, it's a tradition to reenact the Battle of Puebla on Cinco de Mayo. It may not be entirely historically accurate, and I'm like 99% sure this is incredibly unsafe, but it looks like a blast. Pun fully intended. So they, oh my gosh, so they reenact the battle. Good gracious. Oh my gosh. Juan Escalante says, good morning. Please wash your hands, stay home if possible, wear a mask if you go outside, and do not tweet racist Cinco de Mayo content. Happy Tuesday. Wow, aren't you the turd in the punch bowl? Gosh. This is all I have to say about Cinco de Mayo and those who can only associate Mexican culture with drinking. Or maybe I'll have one more to say later. Cinco de Drinko. Okay, so all you fuckers can stop celebrating my heritage, known as St. Patrick's Day, too. Don't even, because I know a lot of Mexicans show up at the bar on St. Patrick's Day. Stay the hell out of my holiday, okay? Only associating Irish people with drink. By the way, did you know I'm half Irish? If you didn't know that, I'm half Irish. Hello, Red Leopard, and good morning. Check your logic. All right, enough of this Cinco de Mayo. Number 3, whatever that is. Something to do with Elon Musk. Let's see. What is this? The X something A12 Musk showing up on his first day of school. Be like, okay, I don't know what this is, and it's trending, and I can't read it, so I'm just gonna skip. Moving on. Trending number 4. Oh, Teacher Appreciation Day. I thought that was yesterday. Did I get the wrong? Is it yesterday or today was Teacher Appreciation Day? Happy National Teachers Day. These are just a few of the educators who are going to have above and beyond during the coronavirus pandemic. Okay. All right, I'm not going to listen to that one. There's another one. Oh my gosh. So apparently it's Teacher Appreciation Day. Thank a teacher today, or, whatever. Moving on. Tuesday Thoughts as opposed to Tuesday Thoughts. Let's see if we get any good Tuesday Thoughts. Let's see if the Krassensteins have to thought today. They usually do. On the top one, yes! Ms. Krassenstein. This would be Brian Krassenstein and his uglier twin brother, who tweet under the name of one of their wives, says, Trump this morning. I don't know what Kellyanne did to her deranged loser of a husband, Moonface, but it must have been really bad. The deranged one has to be the one who continues working for a man who attacks the man she loves in front of 200 million people. Tuesday Thoughts. That's the Tuesday Thoughts of Brian Krassenstein, or his uglier twin brother who tweets under the name of one of their wives. There you go. John Pavlovitz, who's also a Trump derangement syndrome sufferer. White supremacy is a side. Nationalism is a side. Homophobia is a side. Contempt for immigrants is a side. Ignoring science is a side. Supporting a president generating medical misinformation is a side. I choose to stand opposite these things. Well, I hate whatever, John. Okay. Fuck off. Let's go. One of these pictures makes every eye wet. Soldier hugging his commanding officer while mortal remains of Braveheart Colonel Ashutosh Sharma arrived in Jaipur. Okay, that's something going on in India. That's sad. U.S. records more than 22,000 new cases. Yes, as we have, now that we're doing a roughly 500,000 tests a day, we're probably going to find more cases of coronavirus. Doesn't mean we're going to find more severe cases or more deaths, but we are going to find more cases. And Miss Krassenstein, Brian Krassenstein, tweeting under the name, or his uglier twin brother, tweeting under the name of one of their wives, breaking, according to the latest polls, not only will Joe Biden win in November, but Democrats will also take back the Senate. Do not get complacent. Use this as motivation to throw Republicans from Washington emphatically. Let's make a statement, spread the word. Breaking, Dr. Fauci will testify before the Senate, but not the House of Representatives, as Trump calls the House a setup. Wrong. The House is part of an equal branch of government. Yeah, it's part of the legislative branch, which the Senate is, so I guess you don't necessarily need to testify before both. But hey, Democrats and Republicans will be questioning Mr. Fauci when he testifies. So, you know what? It'll be okay there, Brian, or your uglier twin brother who tweet under the name of one of your wives. All right, enough of Tuesday Thoughts. Revenge of the Fifth. I wonder if Disney trademarked Revenge of the Fifth, because yesterday was May the 4th be with you, and they said they would be, anyone who uses that phrase, they would be giving permission for Disney to use them as part of a promotion. And so a lot of people did naughty bits in their pictures when they did May the 4th be with you. Well, let's see about, I don't know if I should have clicked this right away, but Revenge of the Fifth, celebrating the dark side of the Force on Revenge of the Fifth. Rogue One has the best Darth Vader scene in all of Star Wars. I haven't seen this, so perhaps... Nope, I'm not doing it. I haven't seen it, so okay, Revenge of the Fifth. That's funny. Moving on. Tyra Banks is trending? Why is Tyra Banks trending? Tyra Banks is fucking nuts movement is the most entertaining thing to come out of quarantine. Okay, what did she do? I will never get how unbothered Naomi Campbell was when Tyra Banks interviewed her. To be honest, Naomi, I'm fearful of you to this day. Yeah, Naomi Banks is a crazy bitch. I walked in the room and I see you, I start shaking and my heart starts beating faster. And Naomi Campbell just smiles, okay? Let's see. I think about Naomi, the way she was unbothered by often. Tyra came in with that spirit, and our babe told her it's not that deep. Let's see what this says.
But, and I don't think you know this either, that experience between you and I was one of the most difficult times in my entire life.
Well, that's...
In my entire
See, for me,
life.
I can be really honest. I love modeling. I love this industry. It's given me a lot. It's shown me a lot. It's made me travel the world and meet amazing people. But with what I'm going through in my life in the last 5 or 6 years and what I've gone through, of what I've come to know in making my mistakes, in maturing with my family, with myself, with my relationships, it's not life-threatening and it's not that deep.
Okay, so I don't know what did Tyra Banks do that got people talking about her, though? That's what I'm curious about, because that ain't it. Okay, are people mad because... Okay, I wonder if Tyra and the rest of the judges will ever speak about why they were like this. I don't know what this means. What did she do? Well, Daniel was made to feel ugly for her gap. Cycles later, Tyra widened a white contestant's gap because of how high fashion... Okay, what? Okay, here's the problem. Here's what they're mad about.
I don't see any... So, Danielle, you went to the dentist, but you refused to have your gap closed. Do you really think you can have a CoverGirl contract with the gap in your mouth?
Yeah, why not?
This is all people see. It's easier, he's beautiful CoverGirl. It's not
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
It's okay, but I don't want to completely close it. Well, I guess she just left the gap wide open for another girl, baby.
I agree.
Oh.
I don't
Okay, so
understand
apparently they're mad because she told this girl she has a gap in her teeth. And Tyra, I don't know. Who knows what that is? I don't care. Does anybody really care? I don't. I don't know why I stayed on it that long. Donna Reed's trending. Trump expresses a wish that women reporters. What? Oh, good God. Trump tweeted something wrong, and so it's trending. Donna Reed was a leader in both the anti-Vietnam and anti-nuclear movements. Trump complains about tough questions from two standout women correspondents, Paula Reed and Wijija, and suggests they should act more like 50s housewives. It wasn't Donna Reed. I can tell you that, he said, referring to TV housewife actress. I don't care. You know what? Everyone who gives him tough questions or stupid questions get the wrath of Trump. It's like every time he complains about how they ask questions. Oh, this is Trump treating a woman badly. Oh, really? How does he talk to Jim Acosta or that other jackass from CNN or that other jackass from Playboy? He treats all the reporters who are assholes to him like they are assholes. Whatever. Puebla, has to do with Cinco de Mayo. John Ratcliffe has been confirmed as something. Let's see. How does it no longer matter that DNI nominee John Ratcliffe represented his national security experience even though it tanked him in 2019? Have we slipped that? What? Confirmation hearing for DNI nominee Representative Ratcliffe has begun. First such hearing held during the COVID-19 pandemic. A bearded committee chairman Richard Burr explains social distancing rules. Members rotate in and out to keep space between them. Okay, that's in the Intelligence Committee. That hearing's going on today, so we'll see how that goes later. Probably talk about it a little bit tomorrow. That's why Ratcliffe is trending. Moving on, Ocean City is trending. Probably something people pissed off at a beach in California. Ocean City, Maryland, sunrise snipped off the boardwalk. Why is Ocean City? Oh, okay. Ocean City reopening. Why is Ocean City reopening? And to top it off, they aren't requiring people to wear masks on the beach or boardwalk. This is madness. That's not madness. Oh my God, people. This is the other thing that's driving me nuts about this, okay? You're outdoors on a beach in a not enclosed space. If you keep proper social distancing, why do you need a mask outdoors? The purpose of the mask generally is to keep you from coughing on somebody else. But if you want to wear a mask while you're walking on a boardwalk, okay, fine. But you don't have to. This is apparently Ocean City, New Jersey, maybe. Why is filthy ass Ocean City opening back up this weekend? This is the New Jersey governor doing this. Oh, Ocean City, Maryland, not Ocean City, New Jersey. So that's the Democratic governor. Since Ocean City, Maryland is reopening for God knows what reasons, I feel like now is the best time to advertise Ocean City, New Jersey as infinitely better beach. Okay, I don't care. That's trending because people just don't want anything to open. They want to be mad about something. Mabel Cabeza, I don't know who it is. I'm skipping it anyway. ABS-CBN. Philippines shuts down leading broadcaster ABS-CBN. Oh, that's interesting. I don't watch TV in the Philippines, so I'm going to move on. Tuesday Vibes. Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. That's a little pun there. National Teacher Day, Giving News Day. I'm done with Twitter Trends Day. Let's check the hashtag real quick. PDK News. And latest. All right, so this is from Shiograth. Thank you. Utah Highway Patrol says, one of our troopers in Weber County initiated a traffic stop on what he thought was an impaired driver. Turns out it was this young man, age 5, somehow made it his way up onto the freeway in his parents' car, made it from 17th and Lincoln in Ogden down to 25th off ramp southbound I-15. So a 5-year-old was driving the car. Hot doggo. His story is that he left home after an argument with mom in which she told him she would not buy him a Lamborghini. He decided to take the car and go to California to buy himself one. He might have been short of the purchase amount as he had only $3 in his wallet. That's a funny story. Okay, thank you, Shia Grath. Here we go. Tyler F., Michigan governor, says some of the worst racism-fueled protests. Oh, this is that story that pisses me off. So, the governor of Michigan is blaming racism. Michigan governor says some of the worst racism-fueled protests over the coronavirus response. Really? Thank you, Gamer Valine, with the $5 super chat through the Streamlabs. Ocean City is about to be packed. It's a resort town. I'm from Maryland and escaped. Literally impossible to social distance. Governor's a rhino, by the way. Oh, he's a Republican. Okay. Impossible to social distance on a beach. How big of a resort is it, Gamer Valine? I'm just curious. You can do that in the regular chat. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer on Sunday said some gun-toting protesters who demonstrated inside the state capitol, there were 4 with guns inside the capitol, in opposition to some of her moves to battle the coronavirus, depicted some of the worst racism and awful parts in U.S. history. Methinks Governor Whitmer needs to pick up a history book. Whitmer made the assertion on CNN before the release of the latest number of deaths in Michigan related to the coronavirus. Officials say that the 29 new deaths, which increased the number to 4,049, was one of the lowest daily increases since the pandemic began in Michigan. Confirmed cases in Michigan rose by 547, bringing the total to 43,754. During the CNN appearance, Whitmer said the protest featured Confederate flags and nooses. Citation needed. As well as swastikas. Now, the swastikas, there were swastikas. But let's put the swastikas in context. The swastikas were in reference to them calling Whitmer a Heil Whitmer, as in Heil, the guy with the funny mustache who killed lots of people in World War II. Good God. Some of the outrageousness of what happened in our capital city depicted some of the worst racism and awful parts of our history in this country. Oh, okay. Nooses. Some went to the Senate gallery where a senator said armed men shouted at her. Oh my God, protesters shouted at a senator? Oh no, oh no, oh no. They shouted at her. Democratic State Senator Dana Polanyi tweeted a photo of the armed protesters. Yes, one is armed, and I believe this was armed. These two are not. But she's saying, directly above me are men with rifles yelling at us. Some of our colleagues who own bulletproof vests are wearing them. I have never appreciated our sergeant at arms more than a day. Wow, they have them shoulder holstered. Whitmer said the protest wasn't representative of Michigan, and she's going to listen to facts and science to decide how to handle the pandemic. Whether you agree with me or not, I'm working to protect your life. If you live in the state of Michigan, really? How about the UP people? Are you protecting their lives with this extra order? I mean, how are you helping them? What about people in northern Michigan or western Michigan? What, where are you using science or not? It's hard to tell. But anyway. On Friday, President Trump urged Whitner to make a deal with the protesters. The governor of Michigan should give a little and put out the fire. These are very good people, but they are angry, Mr. Trump tweeted. They want their lives back again safely. See them, talk to them, make a deal. Michigan's Republican-controlled legislature has questioned Whitmer's authority to extend stay-at-home orders amid the coronavirus pandemic, but the governor used an executive order to extend a state of emergency declaration and has directed most businesses statewide to remain closed. Well, I'm sorry that those protesters yelled at one of the senators. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for that senator. Not. Okay. Oh, I accidentally... Oops, let's go back to, I messed that up. Let's check if any more on the hashtag, and then we're going to get out of here. We'll check a couple more as soon as I get fix this and go back to it. There we go. Back to that, and back to latest. What else we got? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi using her power to obstruct investigation into... Oh, we already saw this one yesterday, but... You know, I'll take another peek. We got the newlyweds who were arrested. Oh, that's right. They don't want to. She doesn't want China investigated. They're talking about having a congressional panel investigate the China deal. I don't know. Anyway, we already saw that one. I'm gonna call it a day, gang, because I just have to. So. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Although on Mondays, it may be closer to 10:30/9:30/2:30, just because of the new work schedule that they've put upon us at my place of employment. But... if you like what we do, please, 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 on the way out the door, please hit the thumbs up before you go. I know, Duck Dog, my deal is a little bit different, but it's close. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Gabriel Moline. The island is like 10 miles long, but it's a barrier island. Holds 100,000 tourists, but most of the bars and restaurants are super small, and the boardwalk is tight. Okay. But could they restrict... I mean, could people, if they were really trying to practice social distancing, staying 6 to 8 feet apart? You know, they showed the beach that opened, one of them that opened in California. I can't remember which one. And the newscasters were showing a view from like directly at the eye level of people. So it looked like the beaches were totally packed. And then they showed a picture from a helicopter, and people are far apart, practicing social distancing. You don't have to lay on the beach right next to somebody, right? I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't know. Like I said, I've been through so many crises in my life. You know the one I forgot too? The population bomb. That was the one we talked about a lot in the late 70s, early 80s. How when the world has more than they're figuring that the population was going to cause the world to be in a great famine. Here's a picture from Memorial Day or July 4th. You didn't put a link. Oh, I see what happened here. Here's a picture. I think you're showing me a picture. I don't see it. Did you put it in, here we go. Let's, there we go. All right, let's see. Here's what, so here's a picture that Gabriel Blaine sent me. Here's what it looks like on a holiday weekend. My guess, though, look, like they said, just because they're opening a beach doesn't mean that people are going to flock to it in this manner. This is a picture on a holiday weekend when the beach is packed. People are going to come out slowly. People are going to try to practice social distancing. And if they can't, I think they will continue to try. So it's not like, they open the beach and it's going to look like that picture. But you hope that someday it will be able to be like that picture again, because people want to live free. It's May. It's still a little, I'm guessing, even in Ocean City, it's it might be a little chilly still relatively. I mean, chilly to me. I'm out in shorts and t-shirt in 60-degree weather in Minnesota. Not exactly beach weather, but it's like, it feels balmy to me after a cold winter. But anyway. All right. Gotta go, folks. Thank you again for being here at the Morning Night Live. If you can hit the like button on the way out. If you want to do, share the stream. If you are watching on replay, please put a chat or a comment down in the comment section below. And thank you, chat, for being lively as always. Thank you for the people who threw out some super chats today. Gamer Bleen, Dixon Poon, James Colley, this is Kyle. I appreciate that greatly. And all you people who definitely keep the comments rolling in the chat. It makes it a lot of fun for everybody here. I gotta go, though, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Anyway, my name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.